and we really just hit it off. And he actually, first of all, recruited me for the first ever real job that I had out of undergrad. So this is just like a happenstance situation that I met. We were just going through a networking event. And then 3 years later, we're running a startup together.
A lot of people say you don't have to go the college route, right? You can go the entrepreneur route. But if you do decide to go the college route, how do you find success that way?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, not everyone, college is definitely not the right choice for everyone, especially if it's taking on a crap ton of debt to go through with it. But if you do go that route, there's like many things you can do to sort of like optimize your experience so that you don't just emerge, $100,000 in debt and nothing to show for it. I think the biggest thing is like getting involved into clubs and activities that you're interested in. So kind of when I joined, so when I got into undergrad, I started out, immediately joined like a research lab. So not only was I like taking advantage of like the classes and all of this that was available to me, but also I was able to take advantage of the actual like resources that the university have. Because the biggest advantage of a university is not the classes, it's the actual connections that you build there.
Beautiful.
That's the only thing that you miss out on when you're not at university, because you can take university classes anywhere. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm glad you brought that up. The connections you're able to make. How have the connections that you've been able to make, right, going to college? How has that helped your startup?
It's everything. Like the whole world is networking. And as you meet more people and you prove yourself that you're like a consistent good. What's up?
Can you tell us a specific story? One time you met somebody where specifically may have benefited you?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm a co-founder for this startup that we just had funded. So I was actually at a conference. So I published a paper at this conference in Vancouver called NeurIPS, Neural Information Processing Systems. It's like one of these top like deep learning AI conferences. And I was there, flew out to Vancouver. Like the university paid for everything because when
how did that happen? How did they pay for everything?
Usually when you publish a conference paper or something like this through a university and you go, they'll pay. It's kind of like a conference travel type thing.
That's awesome.
And when I was there, I went to one of these meetups for like NLP, natural language processing, and I met this guy. His was Brandon, and really smart, clever dude, about my age. So I was about like 20. I think when I was at this conference, he was like 22, and we really just hit it off. And he actually, first of all, recruited me for the first ever real job that I had out of undergrad. So this is just like a happenstance situation that I met. We were just going through a networking event, and then 3 years later, we're running a startup together. So you'll just by putting yourself out there into basically like the world and expecting nothing, just giving more than you get out, it comes back to you in very good ways.
Awesome.
In the future.
So awesome. Love that answer. So there's bad stigma around dropping out of college. I know, right? The world that we live in today. So let me hear your thoughts. Like what?
So I mean, I didn't drop out of college per se, right? So I have like an undergrad degree and everything.
Okay.
What I dropped out of is a Ph.D. So for the uninitiated, how a Ph.D. works is basically it's a 5-year program at minimum usually, and your full-time job is as a researcher. So your whole job is to take the world around you and discover new facts about it. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's a really, really fun thing if you really enjoy discovering facts about the area that you're working in. So I was working in this area, basically machine learning and bioinformatics. Mm-hmm. So basically the whole goal was to discover new facts about like how cells and how biology works through the lens of training machine learning models and doing computer science things on them. Yes. And what I basically found was that I didn't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And it's a paid job, it's a paid role. But about 6 months in, I realized this is not my thing. It's not what I want to do. So I started programming when I was in 7th grade. Actually, I completely started out by myself. No one really pushed me. I had this website, which is pretty big now. It wasn't that big back then. It was called Code Academy. Basically, you can go on and
in 7th grade.
7th grade, yeah. I was like 12 or 13.
This is the 7th grade. How did you find this program?
Oh, I just really liked. So my dad does construction work. He pulled me out to a job and was like, "Hey, like let's go work. Like come make some extra money on the weekends." And I realized very quickly that I didn't want to fucking do construction work. Okay. Like mad respect, but like I didn't really.
Let me stop you there because your dad is, I think, like he's pretty. He's got some money. He's got a successful company.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, the day to day of that company involves being on your knees grouting tile.
Right. So you realize,
which is like not. So I was like, what can I do? So let me continue. I realized what can I do to basically like prevent me from having to build an empire in that manner. And I was like, okay, well, programming seems like an interesting thing. I like computers. I
in the 7th grade you decided this, right?
Yeah, so I went on and started teaching myself, and it was hard. It was hard at first, but like many things, things are always hard, and then they get easier as you do it more.